Hi, and welcome to this first devlog for Project Foster. Yeah, by the way, that's not the final name, but we'll get to that later. My name is Javier Benitez, and I'm the art director for a AAA outsourcing company. During my career, I've worked on various AAA games like Red Dead Redemption 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and Homefront: The Revolution. This week, I decided to gather all my courage and embark on a very exciting but also very scary journey, becoming a solo indie game developer. Let's just shut up about the past and jumping into what's going to be my future. So to start off, or I should say we, thanks to everyone that has been following me at twitch.com/artofjavi. So we started off the game with the characters. And since I'm not a character artist, we used Character Creator 3. And we did the animations with Mixamo, since I'm not a rigger or an animator either. Then we blocked out a simple environment, we added some lights, some mist, and finally a weapon that we could shoot with. Before I continue, this game will be a top-down position defender with RPG-style character development and loads of cannibal hordes to discharge your weapon against, your anger, and make yourself happy and have some fun. But of course, the general idea and story behind it will be developed along the way, so it's just a very basic blockout right now. Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, so we started that idea with adding shooting animations for our characters, and of course that came with very funny bugs. We also added particles, bullets, and various effects to make the gameplay a bit more satisfying. We added the enemy basic AI. We made them go to the fence, attack the fence when they're there, and we added a basic spawner that spawns enemy at random speeds with random movement speeds as well for the enemies. So we had a bit of a more interesting gameplay with that. We also added ragdolls to the enemies when they die, and let me say, it looks pretty cool when these little fuckers die and become a blob and gelatin and stuff like that. So with all those elements included in the game, gameplay looks like this. As you can see, we get the fog spawning, and after the fog is in, we start getting our first enemies. Right now, at this point, the aiming is not pretty accurate, but I'm pretty happy with how we're at. Because, let's face it, no programming experience, and you're getting something like this, it's really exciting. So, yeah, at this moment, I'm just making sure things work, shooting enemies around, and, enjoying my first achievement with the game. So voila, we now have something to play with. Oh, and I also forgot to say that I have absolutely no idea about programming. So pretty much all the time I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just trying out different things. Um, I studied Python for roughly 2 weeks, which gave me a bit of an idea about floats, booleans, strings, etc. And I'm using a visual scripting system for Unity called Bolt. It's free, it's amazing. This is not sponsored by them, by the way. But it really helped me achieve my goals, and I'm very happy with what I'm learning with them. So in the end, yeah, I think it's clear I had basically no experience in games programming. So after we got those funny bugs fixed, we had something that we could play with. Now it was time to work on the fence's health. We added the fence health system so that when the enemies hit the fence takes damage. And I wanted to implement that in a very, I wouldn't say unique. It's tough to be unique these days now, but it's something that I haven't seen too much. If someone has and can show me, better for me, because I'll have some reference of what I'm doing actually. But yeah, I had the idea to add the health of the fence on the fence itself. So fence health changes color when it's hit from 100 to 0. And when you die, you get a game over screen, which we also had to make, by the way. With that in place, we have some sort of game that you can play. It's very repetitive. We need to add a lot to it. But of course, first week, no experience. So I'm extremely happy with what I've achieved at the moment. So after tons of testing, we decided it was time to add a bit of noise, background noise, some pew pew pews, of course, and reloading. Reloading and ammo was an important one. So when we added this noise, as you will see in a bit, really adds to the ambience of the game itself. Now, you need to keep in mind, this is all gray characters with a gray background, enemies that look gray and run weird. All blockout is blockout. Animations are just placeholders, by the way. But don't forget, we have a game that looks like poop. And it's fun, for me at least, it's fun to play. And it's starting to catch the player in. So again, I'm art director, but I've never made a game for myself. I don't know what I'm doing on programming. I don't know what I'm doing with sound. I don't know what I'm doing with animation. I've never touched a rig for a character. So this, for me, is a huge goal. So I'm very happy with how the game is at this stage. There's a lot of work left to do, but I'm starting to enjoy playing the game, actually, and with more enemy types, more sounds, more weapons. It's gonna be fucking awesome, man. So, as I was saying, now killing those fucking baby eaters was fun. But aren't you missing something for the game? For a game like this? I was. I needed points. I needed to integrate that character development into the game. So, how could I do that? How could I integrate points and the story? Well, I don't want them to be taking too much of the UI space, so we made them fade in and fade out when you're not using them. And I think it's a very nice little animation that we came up with on stream with the counter there and stuff like that. So I'm happy with that too. And with that in place, you know, this feels even better. And now I just need to find a reason why these creatures give you points. Like, well, I want to be realistic in my game, so I have to think about what's going on. I'm thinking about blood vials that you can give to a guy that is experimenting with them, something like that, and he'll give you upgrades, like some sort of scientist that I don't know. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with that, but it's gonna go around that route where you get points for doing something, you give it to someone, that someone gives you something back. So with that added, which was a complete nightmare, if I may say, I had something that I mean, it looks cool, man, if I can say so myself. Last thing to add with the reloads was the UI elements to show you that you actually were ping ping and not just spending imaginary bullets within your never-ending magazine. So I had to add an element to that, and that was the result. Right now it's just a string of text that is just eyes, one on top of the other, so it looks a bit weird, but I'm happy with how it's looking. It's all scalable, by the way, but you know, Unity gives you that. Oh, didn't I say that? I'm using Unity engine, for, by the way, should have said that first. So yeah, now every time you shoot, you get one less bullet. So after a week, we've got something like what you can see on screen. Again, I'm very happy with how it's turning out. You've got a goal, which is not to let these beings come at you and destroy your barricade. We've got a bit of a progression here, earning points. Player can move, player can shoot, player can do whatever he wants, basically within the limits we've given him. Aiming is very janky. It doesn't work perfectly. But you know, we've got something that is playable, and of course, if you lose, you get a game over. So at the moment, all the enemies die in one shot, which, you know, it's cool for testing, but it looks a bit like too easy. Even though when you get, I must tell you, when you get like 5 bullets, they kill you fast, man. And but that's something I want to fix, you know. Maybe you shoot them once to the head, they're off. If you hit them twice in the body, they're off too. It's gonna require some skill. They go fast, so it should be pretty fun. I also want to add a secondary weapon, some sort of revolver, to give some variety to the gameplay. And I need to work on proper hordes. Like, first horde will spawn 5 enemies. Second horde will spawn something like, I don't know, 10. And that'll increase the difficulty over time, give a little bit of a learning curve on the player, and I think that's gonna be something on the development of this week. Oh, I would also want to end the week with properly raycasted bullets. Right now, the rifle is just shooting physical bullets that have colliders, and well, I mean, it's a good way for 2D games and all that. But since we're gonna have like a lot of bullets, it can come very expensive quickly, and it's also not very reliable in terms of like shooting to the head or shooting to the, so what I'm going to do is proper raycasting. This is going to allow me to basically get nicer and more reliable results in order to kill the enemies and whatnot. And if I don't forget about anything, that's pretty much it for the week. It feels like not much, but let me tell you, it's a huge lot for me, especially without no programming experience and no game dev experience at all. Coming up with a game in a week was something else, something really nice. And if you have some questions or you have some ideas you want to share or any feedback, feel free to drop a comment or contact me at artofjavi@gmail.com. So after all this speaking, I want to just shut up. So that's pretty much it for this devlog. It was pretty good to have you around. Thank you for watching. And I guess I'll see you next week. Have a good week. Bye.